Hello everyone, we'll be continuing with the chapter permutation and combinations today, and we'll continue with the typical problem set we were doing in the last lecture. So we had done some problems of at least, at most in the last cases, and we had done some TCP problems based on some case making type of problems. So we'll continue with the typical problem set. So this is typical problem 10, that is, this is based on selecting one or more elements out of different cases of n elements. That is, you have different properties held by the n given object set, and you have to select at least one, or you can say one or more elements out of that set. So the first is selecting one or more objects out of n different objects. So you are given a set of n different objects, you have to select one or more objects out of them. Okay, so this is almost the same as, not almost, it is the same. This is at least one object out of n different objects. This is the same statement. Either you say one or more objects out of n different objects, or you say at least one object out of n different objects. This is meaning the same. So as we discussed in the previous lecture, whenever you are given a situation of at least, right, you have to just form the cases. So what would be the cases in this? You choose either one. So objects selected. So objects selected are either 1, either 2, either 3, either 4, similarly like this, either n minus 1 or n. These are the all possible cases. You can either choose 1, either choose 2, either choose 3, either 4, or carry till you can choose all the elements. So these are the basic all cases that will be formed, because you have to choose at least one object, and there is no other constraint on how many objects you can choose. So starting from 1, you can have a possibility till n. So we will form the cases for each and every of them. So case 1 would be choosing only one element out of the given element, n elements. As they all are different, you would directly apply the formula NC1. You have to choose one element from the given set of n elements. Case 2 would be choosing two elements out of a set of n different objects. So it would be NC2. Similarly, it would go on. So the total number of cases would be similarly here the case n minus 1 would be choosing n minus 1 objects out of a set of n. So NC n minus 1. Case n would be choosing n elements out of the given set of n elements, that would be NCn. So the total number of cases would be the summation of all these, because they are all different sets. Because choosing one element and choosing two elements are not the same case. They can't coexist with each other. Either you would choose one element, either you would choose two elements. So you would apply the fundamental principle of counting and add all these possibilities. So this would be NC1 plus NC2 plus NC3, and this would be continued till NCn minus 1 plus NCn. Now we will use binomial property. First of all, we should try to prove this actually. Okay, so you might be familiar with this identity. First, NCR plus NCR plus 1 gives us n plus 1 CR plus 1. Or you can just verify this as well. This would be n factorial upon r factorial upon n minus r factorial. This would be n factorial upon r plus 1 factorial upon n minus r plus minus 1 factorial. So you can take the LCM in the denominator. It would give you r plus 1 factorial into n minus r factorial. So it would give the LCM as n factorial into, this would multiply with r plus 1, and here you would get is plus n minus r. So it would, r and r would cancel out, that it would give you n plus 1 factorial upon r plus 1 factorial upon n minus r factorial. So this would give you n plus 1 c r plus 1. So this is the identity you would be using to do this. Okay. So if you take care over here as well, so this would be similar. Either you can use this property and try to prove this, or there could be one other easy way to find this. Basically, what could be, you club these 2 points, so you would get something n plus 1 c, you will get n plus 1 c2. You club these 2 values, you will get n plus 1 c4 value, similarly like this, and you try to club them and you do solve it like that. One is that possibility. Another possibility could be, you can do it in a more elegant way. Basically, what is this nc1 plus nc2 and this going on? Let's try to see where have you encountered this earlier as well. You might be familiar with the binomial expression, binomial expansion of an expression 1 plus x power n. This is nc0 plus nc1 x power 1 plus nc2 x power 2. This carried till ncn x power n. This is the binomial expansion of an expression 1 plus x raised to power n. So if we choose x equals to 1 over here, what would it become? 1 plus 1 power n. This would give us nc0 plus nc1 plus nc2 till ncn, because all the power of 1 is 1. So this would give us 2 to the power n equals nc0 plus nc1 carried till ncn. This gives us the summation of all the binomial coefficients of an expression having, that is selecting 0 objects from given set of n objects, selecting 1 object from the given set of n objects, till selecting n objects out of a given set of n elements. The total of these is 2 power n. But here we had to calculate nc1 plus nc2 plus till ncn. We didn't require this portion, so we can subtract it, take it on the other side. This is basically 1 because nc0 is n factorial upon 0 factorial, that is equals to 1. So basically this expression is equal to 2 power n minus 1. So these are the total number of cases. That would be 2 power n minus 1. So the total number of cases in which you can select at least one object out of a given set of n objects where all the objects are different is 2 to the power n minus 1. This is basically done with the same theory which we learned in the previous lecture, that is formation of cases, whichever cases are forming, and by using the fundamental principle of counting, we add these small cases. We just got an expression, we have to find the value of it, so we just use that binomial expression for it. The binomial expansion for 1 plus x power n is nc0 plus nc1 x power 1, nc2 x power 2, and continued like this. We just substituted x equals to 1 and we got an expression for the summation of binomial expressions, and we got the value from here. So selecting selecting at least one object from a given set of n objects where all are different is given by 2 power n minus 1. So this is the typical problem number 10. So whenever you are asked to find, say, how many ways you can select one object out of a given set of 5 objects, at least one object from a given set of 5 objects where all are different. So it would be 2 power 5 minus 1, that is 31 cases are there in which you can choose at least one object from a given set of those 5 objects. So we'll do another TCP. I would not call it a separate TCP because it is based on this TCP only. So this would be B part of this same TCP. So this is the B part of it, that is choosing at least one object from n similar objects. That is, there are n objects but they are not same. Basically, if I say choose in how many ways you can choose at least one object from at least one ball from given 10 balls. I give you 10 balls in which you can't differentiate which ball is which one. And I ask you in how many ways can you select at least one ball. So this similarly as we said, we would make cases. Either you select 1, either you select 2, either you select 3, continue to either you select n minus 1 or you select n. As they are all different, you can't differentiate in the cases that which all balls are you selecting. So there would be only one case corresponding to selecting one object. You choose any of them, they are all the same. So it won't make a difference you choose the first one, the third one, fifth one, all are same. You can't differentiate. So there is only one way to select one object. If you have to choose two objects, still it doesn't make a difference which all you are selecting because all of them are same. So there is only one way to select two objects as well. Similarly for 3. For any case you have just one way to select. You choose any random n minus 1. You choose any say 3 balls. You can't differentiate in two cases because they are all identical. So there is only one way to select these cases. So there are n such cases. The total number of ways would be is equal to n. That is 1 plus 1 plus 1 till 1. So it is counted n times. So the total number of ways is n ways. One corresponding to each number of objects you have selected. So if you had selected 3 objects, there is only one way to select 3 objects. If you chose to select 5 objects, there is only one way to select those 5 objects. So you have to choose at least one of them. So there are n such possibilities. Okay. So there is another part to it. If I say you had to select 0 or more, in this case only 0 or more, I would have asked you. So this won't have made much of a difference. It would have just added a case of 0 as well. 0 either 1, 2, till n minus 1, n. So this would have in all the cases. So not selecting any object is another one case. There is only one case, only one way to not select anything. Because you are not selecting anything, there is no way to arrange them or choose from any other possibilities. Similarly, all would be 1, 1, 1. There is only one way to select all of them. So selecting 0 or more would be from given set of n similar objects is n plus 1. Either you select 0, 1, 2, 3 till n. So there are n plus 1 possibilities. The number of ways are n plus 1 in which you can select 0 or more from a given set of n similar objects. So this is the B case of the problem. First was when all were different. The second part is when all are same. The third would be the combination of these two. That is, you have some objects are similar, some objects are different. So in that scenario, in how many ways can you choose at least one object? So the third case would be choosing at least one object from a set having P of one kind, Q of second type, R of third type, similarly, and N are different. Okay. You have some bunch of similar kind of objects, and finally, similarly like these, you have some bunches of say P of first kind, Q of second kind, R of third type, and similarly like this. And in the last, you have N objects that are different as well. Okay, so you have to choose at least one object. So let us suppose you were made to select. You chose to select the objects from first part. Let us suppose. Okay, you can either let us form the cases. Okay, so if I ask you in how many ways can you select 0 or more objects from P objects, P similar object. You have P similar objects, you have to select at least 0 or more of them. We just did this in the previous slide. So what was the answer? There is P plus 1 number of cases in which there are P plus 1 number of ways in which you can select 0 or more objects from the P similar objects. Okay. Similarly, in how many ways can you select 0 or more objects from Q similar objects? This would be on the same grounds because there is no difference in having P similar objects and Q similar objects. So this would give us Q plus 1. Similarly, for all the different types, you would get P plus 1, Q plus 1, R plus 1. For all, if you just decided to choose from any one of them, 0 or more elements, these are the total number of cases, and you have to choose from all of them because there is no limitation that you have to choose it from first part, second part, only the third part. So and the last part would be in how many ways can you select 0 or more objects from n different objects. As we did in the previous lecture, previous slide, in how many ways can you select? We did was 1 or more objects from n object and different objects. That was 2 power n minus 1. You have to add just selecting 0 as well. That is nc0. That is equal to 1 only. So 1 and 1 would cancel out. So that 2 power n number of cases of selecting 0 or more objects from n different objects. Okay. So we calculated similarly for all of the different cases given in the problem set. Now you have to club these because there is no foundation on you that you have to choose it from the first part, second part only, third part only. So you have to club all these. So as you can think only, it is based on the principle of multiplication because you have to choose from all of them. So the total number of cases would be first case either selecting 0 or more, then you have to select from the second part Q plus 1, R plus 1, similarly it would be continued, and the last would be 2 power n. But did you realize in this case there is one possibility when you did not select any object from the first part, you did not select any object from the second part, similarly you did not select from any of these parts and not from the last part as well. You didn't select any object from any of these departments. So what would you get in the final result as? You haven't selected any object from the given set. So you have to just subtract that one case from this. So the total number of ways would be P plus 1 into Q plus 1 into R plus 1 continued till 2 power n minus a 1 because you have to select at least one object from the given set having this property. So you have to just break this into sub problems, that is from choosing from first kind, second kind, third kind, fourth kind, and you have no foundation on choosing from which type you have to choose the element. So you have to use the principle of multiplication and you will get this result. So these were the 3 basic problems on the choosing at least one object from 3 different scenarios, that is all are different objects, all are same type objects, and the third case was it is a combination of similar and different type of objects. So these were the 3 basic problems. So the 3 basic problem sets we are discussing in this class. Next we will cover in the next lecture. Thank you.